everybody, Cryptic Homemaker here, and today we are doing a bug unboxing. For those of you who don't know, I have a bearded dragon named Leanore, insert picture, and we have not been able to get our hands on a surplus of live bugs in a couple of months, actually. The horrible weather that overtook the United States really impacted the availability of bugs because, of course, when you ship, they're going from one state to the next, and with the weather variance and the super cold weather especially, there were very high chances that bugs would die in transit. But finally, the weather has leveled out and we have bugs again. This is actually our biggest bug order to date, so I thought I would open it on camera for everyone. I purchased my bugs from Critters for Christ. And while I personally am a proud atheist, I buy from them because I find they have the best prices. They have very good shipping. Bugs have never died on me. And I think they're just a very good choice if you're going to get bugs for any kind of creature that needs them. So let me tell you first what we ordered. We ordered 200 medium Dubia roaches, 300 superworms, 100 calci-worms, 50 waxworms, and 1,000 mealworms. So a lot of bugs. And I was thinking we were gonna have a bigger box for all of those bugs, but surprise, surprise, it came in the normal box that we normally get our bugs in. So let's hope everything's there. Let's hope everything's alive, and let's just get into this. Brandon knife. Okay. Can I close you on my own? Yes, I can. Okay. First off are the First we have our calci-worms. They're always so tiny. It's just their nature. We have not bought them in quite a while because Leanore tends to have issues digesting them. We're hoping it's going to be different now that she's older because they have an abundance of calcium, which they need every day for proper growth, proper nutrition, helps their bones, etc. Next, we have our 50 waxworms. Also not something we get often because they're very fatty. They're considered a treat for bearded dragons and other creatures like that. You don't give them to them often because bearded dragons can get gout and they can become overweight. And that, of course, comes with all the issues that arise from that. What are you? Mealworms. I actually really like this. The last time we ordered, it came in a bag and we had to shake them all out. But now we have them in this nice little container, which we are going to keep them in. Just like with these guys, because normally when we order, I think because we don't order a whole lot, they just put them in the bags. And we always have to find some kind of container on our own. It tends to just be a Tupperware that we poke holes into, but this is really handy that they came in their own little cups this time. Okay. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna bring this to the camera. Can you hear that? It's always so creepy. I think the thing I like the least about opening bugs is that you can hear them crawling around. And the thing is, they smell right now because we ordered them about a week ago. Because of COVID, shipping has been super slow, so there's always just that risk that they're not going to make it through the process of transferring, or they smell because they've been in their own excrement and have had plenty of time to produce said excrement. But anyway, let's move on to our final treat. Oh yeah, there we go. 200 Dubia roaches. These are the very first thing we ever fed Leanore. We got them when they were teeny tiny for her because she was such a tiny baby. And they can only eat things that are the size between their eyes. She's old enough now to take larges, but we got mediums because they're cheaper. And just, while she can take down a whole adult, we don't really like her to. We only did that in one circumstance because we were running out of bugs and needed to just go for it, basically give her whatever we had. But these are going to be much more easily digestible. So that's why we got some smaller ones with the medium size. Thankfully, everything came alive. I was really nervous, actually, that they weren't, because I know things are still just iffy with shipping and some weather is still acting up across the country, but everything is good. We got all our stuff and I'm happy. And now we are going to get into the process of transferring things into containers. So let's get into that. So normally when we used to buy from other websites, the Dubia roaches would not come in a handy dandy container like this. They would come in a bag like the supers. And so we would have egg crates in this container and we'd pour them in. This container, we just bought it like it is, and then we cut, or dremeled actually, a hole out, put some thin netting and hot glued the netting on to make sure it would stay. We have it done on both sides for proper ventilation. But since the Dubia are in their own container, we're just gonna pop everything into this guy. Nice, handy, everything's in one place as I like it to be kind of thing. The Dubia, the mealworms, the waxworms, the calci-worms are all in their own container, so I don't have to worry. And that was the thing. I was totally prepared to cut up a couple more containers, but thankfully I only need this one guy here. Just this one guy. It's a little wet right now. I just washed it. It'll be fine. I dried the inside, but this container came like this, where it has this little top right here, I assume to let steam out. And it's perfect for bugs because I didn't have to make any adjustments and it's set to go. So we are going to be putting the superworms in here since they are the only things not in a container already. I hate opening these. Normally Brandon does this part, but he's asleep. I've only gotten about 4 hours of sleep and he had even less than me. So he's taking a nap right now before we really have to start our day. But first things first, you put oats or wheat bran. Wheat bran tends to be the better choice. It doesn't mold as quickly, but it is more expensive. So as long as you just take care of the bugs, pretty much, make sure that any vegetables you put in aren't getting moldy, aren't infecting, then the oats, you're good to go. So let's start with that. I'm just gonna finish this container off. Now, I'm not going to use the knife. I will cut myself. I'm positive of it. So I'm going to go get scissors. There we go. God, I'm not looking forward to this at all. Push these other guys out. Ugh. I deal with these all the time. I've been dealing with these for a year, but it doesn't get easier to be taking them out of bags because they cling to them, they stick to them, and you really have to be persistent with getting them out. See, one's crawling up. See? Wow, these are big boys. These are the biggest ones we've gotten so far. Good. There's so many. Okay, let's close this guy up first because they're trying to escape. Okay. I'm not afraid. That's a beetle. That's a cleaner beetle. I'm not like afraid of them, but it's still a creepy crawly kind of thing. When I first started dealing with bugs, I would like feel them on me all the time. Come on, bug. Come on. There we go. Fuck it. Okay, let's do this guy. Put him in this. Let's just go for it, man. So that's empty. All right. That bowl is empty. Now we're just gonna pick these all up, basically. Dude, Brandon used to be the only one who could feed Leanore supers for a little bit, because they are wrigglers for sure. And I used to be like too nervous to pick them up, and supers were the only thing we could get for a little bit. But since she was so small at the time, he would have to feed them to her in twos. So he'd like have her eat the head first and then feed her the rest of the body. And the first time I tried to do that, I dropped it. So she took one bite and then I dropped it. And I was just freaked out because I think I dropped it on myself. Okay. Again, I'm not afraid. It's just, if I feel one on me, I won't be able to stop feeling it on me. Okay. Yo, there's none in there. Killer. Normally Brandon, like, the last time we got mealworms, he had to, like, take the tweezers, go in the bag, and try and remove everything. And so these I'm removing are potato. You tend to put potato in there for hydration purposes, more than nutrition. You tend to want to feed your bugs the things that your beardy will eat. That's called gut loading it. And it just makes sure that your food is the most nutritious it can possibly be for your little guy. Okay. 500 Superworms. They're honestly one of my favorite things to feed now because they're just so quick to grab and put in. And yeah. So, I think before we actually put anything in this container, I think I'm going to bring out Leanore and feed her on camera. I think that might be really fun. Let me go get her. What you doing, sweet kitty? You trying to get to the bugs? Those are not your bugs. As much as you like to think so. I love you, but you gotta go. Just for now, while little girl is up here. Okay. Hi, Leanore. Okay, what time is it? It's 11:21, so she's been up for about an hour and a half. At least up with her lights on. Leanore. Leanore. There you go. So you're supposed to wait about 2 hours for their metabolisms and bodies to just heat up before you feed them. She's okay right now. She'll do fine. It tends to just be a kind of guideline. So in here we have some calcium, and we probably have her a little bit of multivitamin in here too. You're supposed to do multivitamin once a week. I think we did a couple days ago, so there's still a little bit in here, I'm sure. So she's only been eating mealworms the last week or two. Oh shit, I missed the super. Okay. Hello. Ooh. You are the first to die. Are you hungry? Just mealworms and some of those, like, not freeze dry. I think they're vacuum sealed to, like, preserve the freshness and the nutrients. Was that good? It's been forever. Okay. So we're going to give you a little mix today of things just to... Oh, yeah. It's been so long. Oh, there's a teeny Dubia in here. Look at little Dubia. Little Dubia. Okay. We got a super there. We got a super there. So here's an issue with superworms. If you did not know, superworms, if they do not have food, they will kill each other and eat each other. So it's important to always have like a carrot in there. Hey, what are you doing? Looky, looky. Looky, looky, Leanore. But anyway, back to how she's only been eating mealworms and stuff lately. We don't like doing that. We like giving her a variety, but again, we couldn't get variety when people aren't shipping and you don't have any bugs in your area available other than just Petco, you know? I got him. You gotta look over, sweetie. Go over it. There you go. Yeah. So she's about probably 8 months now. So she still has about three-ish months before she needs to go like to the 80% vegetables, 20% bugs, you know? 20% protein, I should say. Your toe okay? Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's give you some waxworms. Crunch, 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 crunch. But anyway, back to, because we haven't been giving her as many nutritious bugs and had to kind of really ration out how many we were giving, I'm going to give her a little bit more this week than I normally would because I feel like a horrible mother. Like, I haven't been able to provide her as many as she needs for her age. So I'm so nervous she's not growing to her full potential, but a lot of my other groups, my bearded dragon groups, say that their females tend to only be about 18 inches, which is what this little one's at. So I don't feel like horrible, but I still want to provide as much as I can before it's time to start the transition. These are super squishy. This is going to be your biggest meal of the day, by the way. We won't give her as much this evening because I'm giving her an abundance now. Okay. Let's just do 4. Let's just do 4 of those guys. Really ration them out. You know, an interesting thing is that bearded dragons or any creatures like this can get addicted to certain things. So that's another reason why you don't give them these high-fat worms, because they can have the tendency to be like, oh, this is yummy. It's like my ice cream. Let's only eat that and protest anything else kind of thing. Oh, that's a big tongue reach. Yeah, that's a big tongue reach. We're going to skip the mealworms for now since we have mainly been giving her those, of course. I see you, cat. I see you watching. Okay, here's the main thing. Again, with the calci-worms, not digesting them properly. She would eat them and just, they go right through her. She would poop them out whole. That's not what we want. She's not taking in as many nutrients as she needs. So since she wasn't digesting them, Brandon ended up poking them with like a toothpick. Because at least then those juices were coming out and she was getting the calcium, but we didn't like doing that. It seems inhumane. And yes, we're feeding off these bugs. They're going to be eaten and die. But I want to let them live as good of lives as they possibly can. And I don't want them to be in any pain more than necessary, you know. Okay, let's try some of these calcies. They're teeny, aren't they? So you're supposed to sift calci-worms, but if I need to, I will, but this substrate's coming off just fine. These are tiny. I got larges. Probably just a variety, I guess. You want some of those? 6. Let's do 7 of them. There we go. She's eating them. She didn't used to eat them. She had no real interest in them when she was a tiny girl. There we go. Is that still the case? Here, let's do this for you. If she doesn't eat them, it's not going to be a huge deal. Because like I said, I mean, they're pretty cheap. It's just a thing we wanted to try out again. See if, oh, you missed a wax. And you missed a super? What is wrong with you? Eat that one. He's not in the best of shape. There you go. Good girl. Now, just get these last two, because then we'll really know. And we'll really know if your body can handle it now that you're older. I think one issue was her temps weren't on point when we first got her and we're trying to feed her calci-worms. It was, I talked about it a bit in my video where I first kind of say, I have a bearded dragon. Let's talk about our story. The temps were really hard to get right in the beginning, but now we have them on point. She doesn't have any issues now. Come on. Oh, missed it. No. Okay, here you go. She does this thing where she won't take the bug, but she'll try and go straight for the... She'll attack the tongs and not the bug. Come on, sweetheart. Just get this last one and you're good. Then we'll get your favorite. We'll get your Dubies. I know. It's a lot more than you've had in a little bit. There you go. There you go, good girl. Okay, last little thing. Let's break these guys out. Ooh. You hear that? I know you do. We'll keep. When it comes to your bugs, you don't want them to look like they've been covered in powdered sugar, like a donut. You want them just to have a little sprinkle, but the brand of calcium we got, it really clings, so they tend to look a little bit more like donuts. Okay, little one. Girl, you don't want them? Are you full? You are? That's okay. We'll just leave them in your tank for later. Dubias are fine to leave in their tanks, as well as like worms and stuff. Crickets, however, are not. Crickets are not afraid to attack your bearded dragon. So they'll bite them, and if not treated, it can lead to infections. So when you're feeding crickets, always feed them out of your bearded dragon's enclosure. You don't want to lose any of them. Always keep an eye. Make sure they're not crawling all over your dragon. But again, not an issue for the bugs we bought. So this is going to go into her tank. It is a slick container, so the bugs are not going to be able to get out. So no problem there. Okay. So, now that she's eaten, she needs to go into her tank and bask for at least 2 hours before she can be removed again. So, thank you so much for being here for my little bug unboxing and watching my little one eat. We had a great time. Yes, so anyway, thank you again for being here, and there will be a new video next week. Bye!
Walking the dog sounds so pretty when it's played by a jazz band. Even the frog is some ditty when it's played by a band so grand. Well, any tune sounds like opera when it's played with